Hello dear students, today we are going to talk about how to prepare for GATE 2022. Let's begin. So now see here, the first and foremost important thing is, see here, let us try to talk about exam pattern first. Let us see. Yes, exam pattern, if you see, what we have is in this particular exam, we are going to have 65 questions, out of which 30 questions will be 1 mark questions and 35 questions will be 2 mark questions. So now if you see here, 30 into 1 is going to be 30 marks, plus if you see here, 35 into 2 is going to be 70 marks. So the total marks that you have for this exam is going to be 100 marks. Right? Now see here, apart from this, if you see, GATE 2022 is going to be organized by IIT Kharagpur, and this particular IIT has already organized it in 2014, then back in 2006, then in 2000, in 1994, and in 1988. These are the years in which Kharagpur has organized this GATE exams, and now again after 7 years we are having this exam for 2022. Anyways, now see here, this is how marking scheme is for the exam. This is the marking scheme. Now see here, let us think of type of questions that are asked. Types of questions, if you see, types of questions, in this you are going to have number 1 MCQ type questions, number 2 you are going to have MSQ questions, and number 3 that you have is going to be NAT questions. Now you may ask me, sir, what is the meaning of MCQ? MCQ is nothing but what? Multiple choice questions. MSQ will be what? Multiple select questions, and NAT means what? Numerical type questions. Now anyway, see here, let us try to understand this scheme first. See here, in case of MCQ, if you see, what we have is, for example, you have a right question is there, for example, and now there are few options given. Let us say A, B, C, and D. So now out of these options, if only one option is correct, then it is called as MCQ. Right? Now see here, MCQ type only, you are going to have something called as negative marking. Negative marking, what does that mean, sir? Negative marking will be either for 1 mark questions, it is going to be 1/3 of the negative marking, and for 2 mark questions, negative marking is going to be 2/3. Meaning that, see here, if example this answer is, let us say, option C, and then you clicked on, let us say, option B, then this particular question, if it is, for example, 2 mark question, then what is going to happen? Minus 0.66 marks are going to be deducted. In the sense, 2/3 of the marks are going to be deducted. Similarly, if this question, rather than 2 marks, if it is going to be 1 mark, then there minus 0.33 negative marking is going to be there, which means 1/3 of the negative marking is going to be there. This is what is the idea regarding it. Now this was all about MCQ. Let us try to understand MSQ. See here, in case of MSQ, if you see, second type is MSQ. MSQ in the sense, you have some, right, and you have some options, let us say A, B, C, and D. What does MSQ says? MSQ says what? Multiple select questions. In the sense, for there can be more than one answers to the same question. More than one answers to the same question. In the sense, for example, it has, let us say, the answer here is, for example, option B as well as option C, right? So if the answer is option B and C, and for example you have only written it as B, or only A, or A and D, then the answer is going to be wrong. But here what you have is, here if you see, you have no negative marking. There is no negative marking for MSQ questions, means you will be safe. Anyways, now let us try to understand the third one. Third is what? Third is NAT, numerical type. In NAT questions, if you see, what you have is, they will ask some question, and there they will give a fill in the blank like this. This is going to be the fill in the blank. And you are supposed to enter the values. Enter the value there. In the sense, for example, let us say 2 ampere, or let us say 5 amperes, or let us say 100 volts, etc. So that value, this 2, 500 and all, this value has to be written here, sort of. So it is going to be N18. Now the speciality of this is, again here you have no negative marking. This is the speciality. So again, even if you mark wrong answer here, you are still going to be safe. That is what is we have understood. Now let us try to understand what has to be the flow of our preparation strategy. Let's see that. Yes friends, see here, our flow will be, the first step that you are going to take is, the first step in the flow will be watching Ekeeda videos. Watching our Ekeeda videos. This is going to be the first step. Now the second step is going to be what, sir? Now see here, this watching Ekeeda videos, in the sense, this has to be done for understanding the concept. Understanding the concepts. Then next thing will be what? Will be making notes. Making notes. Now here if you see, you are going to make two sorts of notes. One is going to be main notes and other is going to be short notes. Why? What is their importance? I will tell you, don't worry. And then the third step for preparing it will be solving previous year gate questions. Solving previous year gate questions as well as engineering services questions, ESE questions. This is going to be a stage 3. And then while solving those questions, you have to do some star marks. What do we mean by star marks, sir? Star marks in the sense, see, those questions which you are not able to solve in first attempt, you will give them 1 star. Those questions which you are not able to solve in 2 attempts, those will be 2 times star mark questions, right? This is how the flow has to be for the preparation. Now let us think of next. Yes, and then the fifth part, or the fifth thing, is going to be revision. Now I will explain you as to when to revise short notes and when to revise your main notes. I will tell you that, don't worry. Yes, so now speaking about Mission Gate 2022 for Electronics and Communication branch, let us see. The first thing which we are going to discuss is about the subjects. Then we will talk about their weightage in exams. Then we will be talking about our Ekeeda videos hours, in the sense how much time you will require to complete our Ekeeda videos and to learn the subject in a proper way. So let us start with the subjects names and their weightage in the exams, and then we will start with the schedule. Yes, so I will be starting with the basic subjects first, and then we will be talking about the core subjects, and then we will be talking about other subjects which are there. Right? So see here. Yes, the first subject that we have in basics is going to be network theory. Network theory. This network theory will be having weightage of 7 to 8 marks in the ECE examination, and the time required to complete this subject is around 60 hours. This is very important, right? 60 hours. Then the second subject that we have is nothing but control systems. If you think of control systems, the weightage of this subject is around 8 to 10 marks, and the time required to complete this subject is again around 60 hours. 60 hours are sufficient to complete the control systems, right? Then the third subject that we have is signals and systems. Signals and systems. So if you think of here signals and systems, if you see, the weightage is also going to be 8 to 10 marks on an average somewhere, and it is 80 hours. It will require 80 hours to get completed. Now speaking about the core subject, in the core subject, the first subject that we have is EDC. EDC in the sense electronic devices and circuits. So it is going to be EDC. In EDC, let me write down electronic devices and circuits. Right. So in the EDC, if you think of, the weightage in EDC is going to be around 10 to 12 marks, and the time is going to be somewhere around, the time required to complete EDC will be somewhere around 80 hours. 80 hours time is required. Then the next core subject that we are going to study is going to be analog electronics. If you think of analog electronics, if you think of, the marks are going to be somewhere around 10 to 12 marks, and the hours, if you see, the hours required is going to be 120 hours. 120 hours you will require to prepare this analog electronic subjects. Then the third subject, if you see, is going to be communications. Again, it is a core subject. Communications weightage is going to be somewhere around 10 to 11 marks, and it will require 80 hours to get completed. Then in other subjects, if you see what subjects you have, you are going to have, let us say, EM waves, digital electronics. Of course, digital electronics can be also taken as a core subject, but it's okay because you can take it, right? No problem with that. So in digital electronics also, if you see, 8 to 10 marks, the weightage is around 8 to 10 marks, and the time required to complete it is going to be somewhere around 60 hours. Then the next subject in other subject is going to be what? Electromagnetic fields and waves. Fields and wave propagation. So EM theory plus waves. So this is going to be a very important subject. Other subject in this EM theory, if you see, the weightage is going to be somewhere around 9 to 11 marks, and the time required to complete this subject is going to be 60 hours. Now apart from these subjects, you are going to have aptitude, some non-technical subjects also, like aptitude and mathematics. If you think of, aptitude comes for 15 marks, and the time required to complete aptitude will be somewhere around 50 hours. 50 hours is sufficient to complete the aptitude for gate. Then next is maths. Maths comes for around 12 to 15 marks, and the time required to complete mathematics is around 100 hours. So if you think of the, in totality they are taking 150 hours. We will talk about them, when to prepare them, how to prepare them. We will talk about them in detail in this next session. Now please see here. So speaking about the schedule, if you see from 1st April to 30th April. So from 1st April to 30th April, if you see, the first thing you have to do is you have to daily prepare networks. You have to prepare daily, you have to prepare networks for what time? For 2 hours daily. In the sense, so 2 into 30 will give you around 60 hours of content will be completed. Now these 2 hours of content, what is that? That is going to be our Ekeeda videos that you have to watch. 2 hours of videos every day. So 2 into 30 is going to be, you are going to complete 60 hours of content. Then the next thing you have to do is daily you have to complete control systems. How many hours of control systems, sir? 2 hours of control systems daily. In the sense, 2 into 30 at the end of 30 days, that is on 30th April, what are you going to get is 60 hours of control systems content is also going to be completed. So by end of April 30, your networks as well as control systems will be completed. Now if you see here, how to prepare these subjects here? To prepare these subjects, in the sense, the first step you have to do is you have to watch our videos, watch our Ekeeda portal videos, right? Then you have to make notes. In notes also you have to make main notes, and then you have to make short notes. Now what is the difference between main notes and short notes here? See here. In main notes you are supposed to write everything, or I can say write almost everything. Whereas in short notes, if you see, you are going to write only formulas, and the concepts that you forget. That's it. You have to write only formula and concepts that you forget. That is going to be the second one. So this is the 1st April to 30th April you have to complete. So at the end, I can say that by the end of 30th April, networks and control systems will be completed. But along with this, along with making notes, the next thing you have to do is previous year question papers. Previous year questions. Previous year questions of what, sir? Of GATE as well as ESE. You have to solve the previous year questions of GATE as well as ESE. Now here also you have to mark some questions as star mark questions. Star mark questions in the sense, sir, for example, you are not able to solve a particular question in your first attempt, then you have to make it 1 star. If you are not able to solve that question even in your second attempt, then you have to make 2 stars. Even if you are not able to make it in the third, then you have to make 3rd star. So this is how you are supposed to have star marked questions as well for your previous year GATE and ECE questions. Now along with that, what are you going to do? So I can say that by the end of 30th April, your networks and control systems has been completely completed. Now let us think of next. See here. If you see here, from 1st May to 10th June, you are going to have 40 days. In these 40 days, what are you going to do? The first thing you are supposed to do is you have to prepare daily, you have to prepare signals and systems. Daily you have to prepare signals and systems. For how much time, sir? For 2 hours you have to do daily. 2 hours in the sense, by the end of 40 days, that is 2 into 40, you are going to complete 80 hours of content, which means complete signals and systems will be completed. Then next, second thing you have to do along with signals and systems is you have to daily prepare EDC, electronic devices and circuits. You have to prepare. Why? Because EDC will be very helpful in understanding analog, and these signals and systems will be very important in understanding communications. So we have to deal with signals and systems and EDC first. So daily you have to study EDC as well for 2 hours. If you study for 2 hours EDC and 2 hours signals and systems, so 2 into 40, you will be able to complete again 80 hours of the content. Now at the same time, what are you going to supposed to do here? At the same time, you are supposed to do revision of you are going to do short notes of network theory and control systems. Networks and controls, you have to revise the short notes within these 40 days. You have to revise the short notes of network theory and control systems. Now apart from this is the first thing you have to do. Second thing what you have to do, along with this, you have to give subject level test. Where are they available, sir? Subject level test along with our package of Ekeeda, you will get them on our portal, our Ekeeda portal. You are going to get the subject level test. So you please solve those subject level tests. Now minimum there will be, for example, if there are two subject tests per subject, if you see, then what are you supposed to do? You are going to give the first test. You are going to give only one test at a time. You will give this first test. You will do some mistakes in that test. You will understand that maybe your time management is not up to the mark. So mistakes, you will do some of the other mistakes. You please note down that mistake. You have to make a mistake note. You have to make a separate notebook in which you please write down your mistakes. Now you have to write down the mistakes. Identify your weaker areas. And please strengthen those weaker areas. Revise those parts multiple times, such that, and then give the second test of the subjects. Then you please give second test of networks and control systems, and in that second test your marks are going to be increased in the second test. Why? Because you have worked on your weaker sections, and then so it will go on increasing and increasing. This is going to be very very important, right? So daily you have to prepare signals and systems for 2 hours, and then daily you have to prepare EDC for 2 hours. That is 2 into 40, 80 hours. So by the end of 10th June, what is going to happen? Signals and systems and EDC will also be completed. Now so from 11th of June to 30th of July, you are going to get around 40 days to prepare. In those 40 days, what are you going to do? The first thing you are going to do is you please daily prepare analog electronics for 3 hours daily. 3 hours daily, in the sense, by the end of 40 days, so 3 into 40, what is going to happen? 120 hours of analog is going to be completed, which means complete analog will be done by the end of these 40 days. That is, by the end of 30th July, complete analog electronics will be done. Content watching will be done. Second, what are you going to do? You please daily prepare EM waves, electromagnetic and waves. You please prepare this subject for 1.5 hours daily. If you give 1.5 hours daily, then 1.5 into 40, what is going to happen? 60 hours of content is done, right? Which means by the end of July 30, complete analog electronics as well as EM waves will be done. Now apart from that, what are you supposed to do? Apart from this, you are going to revise short notes and mistake notes as well. Mistake notes of previous subjects in the sense networks, controls, EDC, and signals and systems. Now yes, mistake notes will be only available for networks and controls, but it's okay, you please revise those notes. And yes, short notes will be there for networks, controls, EDC, as well as signals and system, because along with the main notes you are supposed to make short notes as well. Already I have told you. So this is the way you are supposed to do. Now along with this is the first thing. Along with this, what are you going to do at the same time? You are going to give test series. You are going to give subject level tests. Subject level tests. Subject level tests of Ekeeda platform we have. So subject level tests you have to give. In those subject level tests also, see, subject level tests of which subjects of signals and systems and EDC, right? So even there, same thing you have to do. For example, if there are two tests per subject, then what are you going to do? You please give the first test. You please give the first test. Do some mistakes in that test, no problem. Making mistakes right now is okay. You please note down those mistakes. Note down those mistakes, and then identify your weaker areas, weaker zones, weaker parts of that subject. You please strengthen that weaker part, and after strengthening that, give the second test. Give the second, and definitely your marks are going to be increased in the second test. You can see that there will be no such hurry about it. So by the end of July, what is going to happen? Analog electronics EM waves will also get completed, and you will have short notes, main notes also of the same, and you will be having short note and mistake notes and main notes of networks controls EDC as well as signals and systems by the end of 30th July. After that, what are we supposed to do? Yeah, let us see. So from 1st September to 10th October, if you see, you are going to again have 40 days. In these 40 days, what are you supposed to do? See, signals and systems already completed here. Signals and systems is done already, right? So now we are all set to do communications. So the first thing you have to study is daily you have to study communications. For how much time, sir? 2 hours daily is enough. 2 hours daily. So you get 2 into 40. So 80 hours you will have to do. No problem. 80 hours. Easily that can be managed. Then the next thing simultaneously you have to prepare is daily you have to prepare digital electronics. Digital electronics is very easy. So one tough subject and one very light subject. 1.5 hours even if you give, then also 1.5 into 40 is going to be somewhere around 60 hours. Easily you can complete digital electronics as well. So communications will get completed by the end of 10th October, as well as digital electronics will also get completed by 10th October. Now what are you going to do apart from this? Yeah, apart from this you are going to revise short notes of previous subjects. Previous subjects in the sense which subjects, sir? Previous subjects in the sense, yes, analog plus EM waves. This is the subject. So you have to revise the short notes of the previous subjects, which is analog electronics and EM waves. Then you please give test series, subject level test series, subject level tests of our Ekeeda. And same old story you have to repeat. For example, if there are two tests, then you please give the first test first. You please give the first test. Identify the mistakes. Do some mistakes there, no problem. Do some mistakes. Note down those mistakes. Make a mistake note. And then what you do is you please improve your weaker sections. Identify your weaker sections. You please strengthen them. And in the second test, just give the second test. And in the second test, what is going to happen is mistakes are done. So definitely your marks are going to increase in the second test. So by the end of 10th October, if you see, the complete syllabus of your ECE will get completed. There is no doubt in it. It is going to be 100% completed. Now you may ask me, sir, but what to do about aptitude and mathematics, right? Let us discuss about them. See here. If you think of aptitude and mathematics, see here. Aptitude will somewhere around take, let us say, 50 hours. to complete, we have already seen, and mathematics will take around 100 hours to get completed. So if you add them, you need total 150 hours to complete aptitude as well as mathematics. So now if you see, let us say that in April month you have, let us say, 30 days. If you are preparing for 30 days, even in May, of course there will be 31 days, let me consider 30 days of your preparation. Even in June, if you see, you are going to have 30 days of preparation. Even in July, if you see, you are going to have 30 days of preparation. And in August also, if you think of, you are going to have 30 days of preparation. So you please add them. What you get? You get 150 days, right, of preparation. So what I am going to suggest you is, my strategy will be, you please prepare aptitude and mathematics on alternate days for 1 hour daily. So 1 hour daily in the sense, for example, you start at, let us say, 1st April, right? So on the 1st April, you please do 1 hour aptitude. Then on the 2nd April, you please do 1 hour of maths. Then on the 3rd April, you please do 1 hour of again aptitude, and then again maths, and then again aptitude, and so on. You just, you know, so at the end, if you see, 150 hours will be easily completed. So by the end of August itself, see, along with those subjects, you are supposed to prepare this also. Now you may say, but sir, what time will be the perfect time? Because see here, I will suggest you to study aptitude at night. Night in the sense, before sleeping. Before sleep at night, please daily prepare 1 hour. Why? Because at night you will always feel sleepy. When you feel sleepy, you become very, very lazy. So calculation oriented subjects, if you do at that time, calculation oriented, or we can say numerical subjects, if you do, then your focus will be again strengthened. So your focus will also increase and your sleep will also go. So you will have to deal with aptitude and maths before sleeping at night. Every night you have to do that from 1st April to 30th August. So you have to do this from where to where, sir? 1st April to 30th August. If you do, automatically it is going to be completed. Now see here, let me tell you what you have to do in October after completion of the syllabus. See here, if you think of, our syllabus here gets completed up to 10th October. Let me consider a buffer time up to 30th October. In the sense, it may happen that 2, 3 days, 5 days may get up and down. It may happen. High chances of that. So rather than 10th October, let me consider that our syllabus is completed by, let us say, 30th October. Our by end of 30th October, our whole syllabus is completed, let us say. Then after that, what to do? I will tell you. See, from 1st November to 10th November, what are you going to do? You will be having 10 days with you. Yes, 100%. So in that due course of time, what can be done is, you please give multiple subject test. You please, first of all, you please analyze mistakes in old tests. Then second, what are you supposed to do? Second thing you can do is, you please, second thing you please give multi subject tests. Multi subject test in the sense, for example, there will be one test in which you will have, let us say, signals and systems plus control systems. You may have such test. You may have a subject in which you may have communication and EM theory and EM waves also. It may have. So you please complete this subject test also, multi subject test also. Again, they will be available on our Ekeeda portal only. Ekeeda portal, if you see, you will have this particular test also. So by the end of 10th November, by the end of 10th November, you please do this. And then after that, what are you going to do from 11th November? After that, Here, from 11th November to 15th Jan, what are you supposed to do? You are going to do only one thing. Few things, I mean. First thing you are going to do is you please do, or you please give full length test series, full length mock test series. Now see here, many of the times what happens is by the end of December only, you get your admit card, and on the admit card they usually write down what is the time. I mean, forenoon session or afternoon session they write. So in the forenoon session, if you see forenoon session, in the sense your time will be somewhere around 9:30 or something. Of course your paper will be 3 hours paper, we already have that idea. And in the afternoon session, if you see, you might have let us say at 2:30 paper, you may have that. So once you get this admit card, what are you supposed to do? You please start giving the test on that particular time only, that time, I mean admit card time only. For example, your exam is on forenoon, is at forenoon, you understand. So you please give your full length test FLT, let us say at 9:30 a.m. only, start the test, right? Such that you will get habituated, right? Now let us see next. Yes, so now the next thing which you have to do is you please give this test. See here. Yes, so the next thing which you have to do is you please give this test. See here, first of all, this full length mock tests which are there, this you have to give after every 2 to 3 days, every 2 to 3 days, such a way that you will have a sufficient time to do the analysis of your test, as well as at the same time, see, you should be able to give at least 12 to 15 tests. That is the idea, you should at least give 12 to 15 tests. Anyways, the second thing which you are supposed to do is you please solve all the star mark questions, all the star mark questions, right? And then the third thing you have to do here is you have to revise from your main notes. Main notes, you have to revise from your main notes. Why? Because every small detail you want to know now, every small detail you want to know now. Yes, so by the end of January 15, everything will fall in place, everything will be your complete practice, everything will be done. And after following this schedule strictly with patience, with persistence, with discipline, you will be able to crack the exam for sure. Your AR will be very, very good. All the best, everyone. Thank you so much.